Movement helps bring your frames to life. Movement takes your image from a static frame to a moment in time full of energy captured for eternity. Add movement to your image like a flowing dress, a jumping subject, hair blowing in the wind, powder floating in the air, or anything you can think of. It makes your photograph more dynamic. Movement excites the senses, it engages the mind, it captures the attention of your viewer. And we see so many thousands of images every single day. Movement is yet another tool to help you stand out. This is one more thing you can do to add another dimension to your photograph. I've planned a shoot specifically around this challenge. So let's go shoot. The theme of this challenge is movement, because movement helps bring energy and life to a photograph. But of course, for movement, I'm going to need something dramatic. Perhaps a dress that can fly in the air, and thankfully I have a beautiful model and a fantastic dress to do so. But if I just photographed her in this dress, no matter how beautiful it is, if it's not moving, it probably lacks a little drama. And if I photograph her on the street or something stone or boring, it wouldn't be as engaging. And what I love about this dress is the color. So if I can put her against that bright blue sky, deepen it, make it really saturated, underexpose that background, and go for bright colors, movement, saturated, all of that, it's gonna make a better image. I've chosen my frame here by placing her on top of a rock so I can shoot from an unusual angle. And we've talked about how shooting from unusual angles can really make a picture much more exciting. It captures the eye because it's something different. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to use color to my advantage. I'm going to use movement to my advantage. So all of this will work together. Right now I'm shooting with a Canon 5D Mark III, and there are two lenses that I want to try for this. I'm going to try a Canon 24-70 2.8 and a Canon 16-35. Both of these are going to allow me to shoot wider angle, and this wide angle is going to create even more drama to the scene. It's going to make her look large and dominant in the scene, tall up against that sky, almost like a goddess. So it's going to be really beautiful. Now typically on a sunny day, I shoot with my models back to the sun, and that way she's not squinting, and sometimes it gives a nice hair light, and then I add a strobe. But the problem with shooting backlight is that the colors fall flat, and everything just gets a little dark. It doesn't have that same glow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her face the sun, and that way the sun hitting her dress gives me a lot of saturation. The sky behind her is going to look that much more blue. But unfortunately, if she's facing the sun, that light on her face is going to be very harsh. She's also going to have deep shadows in her eyes. So by adding a beauty dish, I'm going to improve the quality and the direction of light. I want to underexpose my scene to get richer colors, but it's going to be very hard to do that with a usual strobe. So what you need to have is you either need to have some sort of speed light or strobe like this that can do high speed sync, that can go faster than your camera's sync speed, or you need neutral density filters. Now this is a little bit more advanced, but I just wanted to tell you what I'm doing. I have a neutral density filter on front of my camera, so I can just darken everything down, get the scene really rich and dramatic, and then add my strobe without having to shoot at f16, without having to go over my sync speed. So if you don't know all about this, make sure you check out some of my other tutorials all about shooting studio strobes on location. This challenge has really built on several of the challenges we've already touched upon. For example, not only have we added movement, but we've also shot from an unusual angle, an extreme angle. From shooting below, she looks tall and dominant in the frame. My original file had my stylist in the shot, so she's actually been cloned out of the photograph here in Photoshop CC. But now I'd like to incorporate another challenge. Another one of our challenges was to control color in Lightroom and Photoshop, to really harness it for our purposes. As you can see here, I've used these colors to be very rich and saturated. But you may have seen in some high-end fashion magazines where the sky looks almost teal, a very saturated, deep teal. Well, how do they do that? The same way that we have controlled color before. Right now, if I go to the Develop module, back to the Hue, Saturation, Luminance sliders, and I grab that targeted adjustment tool, watch how I can change the color of the sky. I can make it that teal. I can then go to saturation and increase the saturation. I can go to luminance and darken it down. So it's actually quite simple for me to be able to achieve that teal blue sky color that you so often see in high-end fashion magazines.